Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Create with Brenda. I'm Brenda Hillard, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I have my website at createwithbrenda.com, and this month as an Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I am using, every month I use a host code, but for April, the host code is here. I'm really close to reaching a sales goal, and so with a minimum $50 product purchase, I will be sending out a take your pick tool, absolutely free for placing your order with me using this host code. I also have extended celebration for April, and again trying to reach my sales goal. And with that, if you purchase a minimum of $75, you not only get the Take Your Pick tool, but you get entered into my drawing for a $100 shopping spree on me. So place your orders using the host code, and I look forward to hearing from you. Let's get started with our project today. So what happened is I joined a quarantine swap with some of my stamping friends and downline, and while I was putting this card together, which by the way the card was inspired by Sue Campfield, who is a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Minnesota. It's called a spanner card, and at first I didn't get it, but then once I started working with it, it's really kind of fun. So here's the card. And the reason it's called a spanner card is you lift up, there's a little window sheet piece here that spans the two flaps. And then you have the hello. And you can see I embossed with the embossing folder from the Ornate Garden Suite. And then you lift up the flap for the inside verse. I thought it was really pretty. And I think the gals that I'm swapping with will be really excited to get this card. So let's get started. I'll show you how it goes together. And the paper that I chose was from the Ornate Garden Suite, and this is what the papers look like. They're beautiful, and the colors are really pretty together. Plus, you can see that there's 4 different patterns that have this gold foil or gold metallic print in them. And with the suite are some of these gold gilded gems. And I'm telling you, when you put your cards together with these, they're stunning. So there's the sample of the papers. What you'll need is, if you want to do my exact replica, I'm using So Saffron. I have a 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. And what you do is you fold your card, and I'm just going to bring in my bone folder here to give a really nice crease. And then using the paper trimmer, what you do is measure over to 1 1/4 inch, setting your cutting tool down at your score line at 4 1/4, and you can set that right here with the line on the trimmer and then your 4 1/4 mark, and you just cut, and then I flip it over. And again, I'm going to line up my cutting blade at 4 1/4 and cut. So that leaves me, let me get rid of the trimmer here. That leaves me with a piece that looks like this. Okay. Then I took a piece of our window sheet or the acetate, and using glue dots, and you'll want to put this down first. This acetate window sheet measures 1 by 4. Okay, so using the mini glue dots, I just put one on, didn't want to stick, one on each end of the acetate. And then I'm just going to lay it down. And again, the reason for the card being called a spanner card is this just spans that gap. So now when you lift up, both of these flaps come up. And we wanted to put the acetate sheet down first, or the window sheet down first, because then we're going to take two pieces of whatever designer series paper you choose. I chose the daisies. I'm getting some really big reflection here. Let's see if that helps. I chose the daisies. And all I'm going to do is take my snail and just run a piece of, or run the adhesive, and then just center it in there. These are cut at 1 by 4, so you have a little bit of a mat or a border around them. I'll take the other one, same thing, add the snail, and then center that again. All right, so we've got this. Next, I have a piece, and don't worry about the measurements. I will put measurements on my website after. You can go there after. I'll put it down in the description. All right, so there's an embossing folder that comes with this suite, and it's really detailed little flowers. I think you can see them. This piece measures 3 7/8 by 2 7/8. And is what I'm going to do before I put that down is I'm going to take the old olive ribbon that comes in the combo pack with the suite. It's the Ornate Garden Ribbon combo pack. And I'm just going to put some snail on the back here. And is what I want to do is just wrap this around like the bottom third of the embossed piece. So it looks like that. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more snail over my ribbon so that it stays and adheres to the card. So now we're going to lift this first layer up, and we're going to center this so that there's the same amount of cardstock. Whoops, it stuck to my finger rather than the cardstock. Okay, so there's our second layer. And then I'm going to take a piece of Whisper White cardstock that measures 4 by 5 1/4. And again, I have 2 sheets or 2 pieces measuring 1 by 4 that I'm going to add to the inside. And I do this before I stamp, only because I want to make sure that when I stamp my sentiment on the inside, I get it centered properly in these pieces. So, I think I'll just leave that. All right, so there's this is going to be our insert for inside, okay? All right. So here we go. I have a little strip of the So Saffron, measures 3/4 inch by, I have to look, sorry. Three-quarter by 2 7/8. And like I said, don't worry, because I will put those on my website or on my blog. So I'm going to use the Hello stamp. This stamp is from the 2-stamp set called Good Morning Magnolia, right here. This is a beautiful stamp set. I've used that a lot. And I'm going to be using the Early Espresso ink. So I'm just going to ink up the Hello, tap, 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 and then I'll be stamping it to the left side of my cardstock. So just the Hello. And I had, like I said, I was doing these for swaps. So using the Ornate border dies, these are like one of my faves, my new faves. I used this little strip, and as what it does is it makes this little border that has the holes in it. And with that is what I'm going to do is just run some snail across the bottom of my Hello. And I'm going to put this right at the bottom here. And it's pretty easy to, as I get it on there crooked, it's pretty easy to line up because there's this little stitched edge, and you can just line your edge up with that. And then as all I did was just trim it to fit my Hello. All right. So add some more snail to the top and the bottom. And I'm just going to line this up right below that ribbon. All right. So that you can see the Hello through the acetate sheet or the window sheet. And then next, I'm going to take 2 of the small daisy punches, and using some mini glue dots, I'm going to put one right there, and then I layer it so that the petals alternate, which gives it that real daisy look, and you can fluff it up a little bit like that. And then for the center, I'm going to grab one of the gold faceted gems. I don't know if I want, ooh, that one went shooting away. I don't know if I want, yeah, I do want the largest one. Yeah, I like that. The original that I showed you, I had used those fuzzy daisy centers, but I used them up. So these work just as well. And again, I'm going to add another mini glue dot to the back of my daisy. And I'll put the first daisy on here as not to cover up my Hello. And when you place it down, you want to make sure that it's only on your acetate sheet. You don't want it stuck to your second layer there, okay? So there's one. We'll do that same thing again. Grabbing a mini glue dot, layering it to my second punch piece, alternating the petals so it forms that daisy look. One more mini glue dot. Good. I'm going to use the large gold faceted gem. Scrunch it up a little bit, give it some dimension. And then I just want to add that second daisy right there. Okay? So our next step is just to tie, slip this underneath, and we're just going to tie a knot. I know a lot of people they struggle with bows. I happen to like tying bows, but I know that's not a fave. And then I'm just going to angle the edges of my ribbon. So now we have, I just want to pull this up so it's up above, okay? And then our inside, the sentiment I'm going to use, and I love this sentiment. It says, "Thank you for making a difference in my life." And I will be stamping that again with the Early Espresso ink. And that sentiment comes from this stamp set called By the Dock. One thing I want to add is that we are in the last, like getting close to the last 30 days to order from the annual catalog. And anything that's bundled in the annual catalog is right now 10% off. Going into the next catalog, these may carry over, but they will not be bundled, and they won't be eligible for the 10% discount with the stamps and the dies. So take a look through your catalogs and check out the bundles and see if you can save some money on the stamp sets that you love. All right, I'm going to ink up the saying, and I'm just going to kind of place that right here. It says, "Thank you for making a difference in my life." I love that. And then I'm going to add some snail to the top and the bottom. And we'll center that in the card here. And voila, look at that fun fold card. And like I always say, who wouldn't love getting this in the mail? I hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure to check out my blog at createwithbrenda.com for all of the measurements and step-by-step instructions. And stay tuned for the rest of my YouTube tutorials or demos. And subscribe if you would like to be notified when I have new. And I always like the thumbs up. So talk to you later. Bye.